Hello. Thank you for joining me in my discussion of the cranial nerves. The cranial nerves serve a very important function in our bodies. Along with the spinal nerves, the cranial nerves make up the peripheral nervous system, also known as the lower motor neuron, also known as the final common pathway. This area of the brain helps to mediate muscle movements in our bodies. There are 12 cranial nerves in the human body, and to help me demonstrate this, I'd like to invite a guest. Adam?
Hello.
The first cranial nerve is called olfactory. It involves smell. It extends down from the olfactory bulb and has a sensory purpose, meaning it sends information from the nose to the brain in order to be decoded. The second cranial nerve is called optic. The basic function of this nerve is for vision. How many fingers am I holding up?
2.
Wow, your second cranial nerve is working just well.
Yay.
It originates in the retina and is also sensory in nature. The third cranial nerve is called ocular motor. The basic function of this is for eye muscles. It originates in the brainstem and has both a sensory and a motor function, which means it sends information from the eyes to the brain, and it also sends information from the brain to the eyes in order to control motor movements. The fourth cranial nerve is called trochlear. This basic function is for the oblique muscle, which controls eye movement. It originates in the brainstem and has only a motor function. The fifth cranial nerve is the trigeminal. Like its name says, this nerve has 3 main branches. Its basic function is for the muscles for chewing, and it originates in the brainstem. It also has both a motor and a sensory function. The sixth cranial nerve is called abducens. This basic function is for lateral eye movement. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
It originates in the pons and has only a motor element. The seventh cranial nerve is the facial nerve. The basic function of this is for facial expression and movement. It originates in the brainstem and has both a motor and a sensory function. The eighth cranial nerve is the vestibulocochlear, also known as the auditory. Its primary function is for balance and for hearing. It is only sensory because it originates in the inner ear and sends information back to the brain. The ninth cranial nerve is the glossopharyngeal. This is involved in taste, and it also innervates the stylopharyngeus muscle, which elevates the pharynx when swallowing and when talking.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. It originates in the brainstem and serves a motor and a sensory purpose. The 10th cranial nerve is the vagus. This comes from the Latin for wandering. Do you know why?
No, why?
Because this nerve wanders around the brain before it gets to the muscles that it innervates.
Oh, wow, you know a lot.
I know. This basic function is to innervate the muscle of the pharynx and the larynx. It originates in the brainstem and serves both a motor and a sensory purpose. The 11th cranial nerve is called the accessory. This basic function is to innervate the trapezius and the sternocleidomastoid muscles. It originates in the cervical spinal cord and in the caudal medulla. It serves a motor purpose. The 12th and final cranial nerve is called the hypoglossal. This cranial nerve innervates the muscles of the tongue, the intrinsic and all of the extrinsic except for one. It originates in the brainstem and serves a motor purpose. Thank you for your help today, Adam.
You're welcome.
I realize this is a lot of information to take in at once. Therefore, I have invited another guest to come and give it a little bit of flair. I hope you enjoy this presentation of the cranial nerves. Please welcome A-Train and his guest, Dizzle.
What's up, Las Cruces? Y'all ready for this?
Number 1 has a smell, olfactory. Number 2, optic nerve is what helps me see. Number 3 controls movement related to my eyes. It's called ocular motor. Oh, what a surprise! Trochlear is for eye movement 2. For trigeminal for face, pain, and chewing food. Number 6, abducens. It's like 3 and 4. So if you look laterally and you'll see much more. 7, facial nerve is for expression, cheese, and taste. And don't forget saliva. 7 will make it pose taste. 8, auditory sense, hearing balance well. 9, taste and swallowing is glossopharyngeal. Number 10 is vagus and all the city is thin. It innervates the pharynx like the soft palate. 11 11 accessory. It's really kind of cool. It controls the pieces inside the masculine. 11 also helps with making swallowing smooth. But 12 hypoglossal is where the tongue gets its moves. Oh, whoa!